Hello dear friends, welcome back to southern Sweden to the end of a 7-day run in the studio with the fantastic Malmo band Babian, which I believe is Swedish for baboon. It's been a week of fuzz and loud drums and just incredible fun. Brilliant guys. Such a good laugh. I haven't really had a chance to do anything other than record these guys, so I thought this video I would talk a bit about this setup, and at the end of the video I will play a bit of what we've recorded this week. I have permission from the band to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek. Obviously it won't be mixed because we've just been tracking this week. But yeah, this room is slowly revealing her secrets to me. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. And let's do it. So the band have just left. There were a lot more amps and pedals and guitars. That whole area over there was just full of stuff this morning. I did film a bit this morning, so maybe I'll cut to that now. You can see what this room looked like this morning. But yeah, one really cool thing which happened a couple of weeks ago was I had a booking for a band who brought their own engineer. And so I just helped them set up. He did it how he wanted it set up, and I just got to observe somebody else recording in this room and using this room and being very happy with this room in the end. He was very, very complimentary about how the room sounded, very excited, and he was doing some really cool things. I didn't actually take any pictures, stupidly, at the time, but he basically started with like a Blumline pair, like a couple of ribbon mics in the middle of the room, which he used as his sort of foundation for the entire band sound. And he was moving the amps around based on this position and trying to get a nice kind of natural stereo spread and a natural kind of balance between all the instruments based on just on this room, on this stereo room mic, which I thought was a really cool thing to do, you know, and it was properly using the room. I think I'm starting to get more kind of confident in this space, and I'm getting more confident with the space, like, you know, that I have somehow managed to build a really good sounding room. Everyone's very impressed. I think in the beginning when I was recording in here, I was a little bit sort of careful with how I was, you know, how much of the room I was allowing in to the recordings. You know, that's why I built all these gobos, which you may notice on this session, they are not being used again at all. But yeah, after seeing that other engineer just fully embrace the room and almost kind of go hunting for the room in the recording, kind of opened my eyes a bit and gave me a bit more confidence to be a bit more kind of experimental with the room. Funnily enough, the brief for this album was he kind of wanted sort of drier drum sounds, which when I heard the demos I was thinking, I'm not sure that's going to end up being the case. But what I do know about recording in this room is if you want the drums to sound quite dry, then they kind of do. Like, you know, just putting the mics on them, the drums sound pretty dry. And it's only when you start putting room mics up that the room really comes to life, you know. And then you have the ability to add that kind of extra glue, that kind of magic thing that happens in a big room like this. So one thing that guy did, which I basically tried this week, was I did my usual Glyn Johns setup because I just like how it sounds. But then as the songs started getting heavier and heavier, I felt like my little ribbon mics were getting a bit overwhelmed, and so I added a couple of 414s just above the cymbals, so that I could turn down the Glyn Johns a bit. I could push the snare back in the mix a little bit because I feel like the Glyn Johns is very much snare focused, obviously. It sort of brings the snare to the front and pushes the cymbals to the back, whereas I ended up using a bit more of the room mics, which were over there. I've taken them away now. And these 414s overheads. And then I could sort of push the snare back a little bit. I could get the cymbals nice and kind of glossy sounding, and just quite a bit of the room mic, which obviously had bleed from the amps and everything as well. and it just made a really nice, natural, big drum sound. And it's just so much fun. It's like really kind of falling in love with recording all over again, just because of this room, just because of this space. There's just so much you can do in a big room like this. So yeah, we had a bank of amps over there, more amps lined up over here. This one's still switched on. Turn that off. And then the bass rig in the middle here at the back, which is another thing that I hadn't really thought of until that other engineer was here, is laying out the room as you would do, kind of mix the kind of stereo field of the recording, you know, have the bass in line with the drums, and then just sort of, as far as the room mics are concerned, there is this kind of natural soundstage situation on the recording. It's really cool. We even did some Les lead guitar, which was really, really fun. Sounding great. Okay, I think I'll go into the control room now, and I'll play you a few little bits that we did. See if I can remember how to record the audio out of Pro Tools onto the video. All right, I'll figure it out. Okay, this first song, am I even going to try and pronounce these names? Morgendagen har ingen aning. I think that's what it's called. I'm just going to play you a little bit. This is really cool. I'm very pleased with how this sounded. It's heavy as hell. And I will go through and just talk a little bit about the drum mics and stuff, and just show you these room mics basically, and the drum overheads, the different ones. I didn't end up using any of the Glyn Johns on this, but I can play you a bit what that would sound like. Anyway, here's the song. So here's the room mic. Not really much bleed, just a little bit of background stuff. Just a really, really, really useful mic. And then here's those two 414s above the cymbals. So you get mainly cymbals, a bit of snare in there. Here's the Glyn Johns, which I'm not using. Much more kind of snare focused, but for this mix I kind of want the snare sort of sitting back a little bit. So just the drum mics on their own. This was also cool, recording very roomy tambourines. So yeah, close mic on the tambourine, but also a room mic as well, which I think on a song like this probably ends up being the main one that you use. It's just a kind of real background, making the tambourine sound huge. And we actually double tracked most of the tambourines on this record with two different tambourines, which I think might be a first for me. Double tracking two different tambourines just made it sound really fat and amazing. So yeah, that was one song. I don't want to play too much of it. Okay, so this is another song which is called something like Alla kan göra någonting. And for this, they wanted a little more of a modern kind of drum sound. So we did what is pretty much one of my favourite things so far in this room, is doing a kind of gated room mics. And it sounds something like this. Anyway, yeah, so you get the idea. We overdubbed the cymbals. We recorded just the drums and hi-hats. You know, basically no crashes, which really helps get that gated room sound nice and clean. Again, we added double-tracked tambourine just to kind of loosen it all up a bit, and so it wasn't so neat. But yeah, again, like the title of this video says, I am falling in love with this room more and more. Kind of still quite surreal to be here using this place after so many years building it. But yeah, I hope this has been a little bit of a window into my week. Thanks very much, Babian, for booking me and trusting me with your baby. I'm looking forward to finishing this off. Obviously, none of this is mixed. We've just finished like half an hour ago. So yeah, looking forward to finishing this off. There's still the vocals to do, synths, probably a few more bits and pieces. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, everybody. And I'll be back next week with at least another video, maybe two. All right, lots of love. Look after each other, and goodbye.